Welcome to Happy Tales. I'm Cheryl Rosenthal, Communications and Education Coordinator here at the Humane Society.
And I'm Joni Geiger, Executive Director.
And today our program is going to be all about volunteering. You know, Joni, we rely a lot on our volunteers. Our staff is very busy checking in animals, working with potential adopters, and we don't get to spend a lot of time with the animals. I know a lot of times people think, oh, you know, it must be so nice to work at the animal shelter. You spend your whole day playing and petting with the cats and the dogs.
and they pay us for this.
Right.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, we don't get to spend very much time with the animals at all. And but it's very important that these animals have that human touch every single day. And of course, we're cleaning, cleaning cages, cleaning their environment, taking them to the veterinarian, and meeting their regular everyday needs. But we're not meeting their emotional needs.
Right.
And that's where hands-on volunteers really are important to the shelter.
I will tell you that the hands-on volunteer program is. We just could not do it without it, Cheryl. I mean, the bottom line is that these volunteers are so important to this organization and so important to these animals. They make a huge difference in how these animals thrive in this environment, their stress level. And we have, and you know this, we have so many wonderful volunteers.
But the truth of the matter is we can always use more.
Yep, we can.
And so today we're going to focus on volunteering and what volunteers get to do. I always tell the cat volunteers when I'm doing the training session that they're our link. They're the link between the animals and the staff. And they are the ones that are making these animals more and more adoptable. And so it's important that we talk with our volunteers and get their point of view. So let's continue.
Great, thanks.
Well, I'd like to welcome our first guest. This is Joby Marks, and Joby has been a volunteer here at the shelter for how long, Joby?
Oh, Lord, probably 12 years, do you think
12
it's been
years,
that long?
Yep, I bet it has been. I've been here about 15, and I think I remember you coming all that, pretty much most of that time at the old shelter. And how did you get started volunteering?
Well, actually, it's really a funny thing because I never got into animals till my old age, or mature age. But anyway, my daughter-in-law kept telling me to go. Oh, first of all, I got 2 cats, and I was just to keep my grandchildren to make them come to visit me. And they came a lot.
They wanted to come to visit the kitties.
Yeah.
Grandma had a lure.
Yeah, then I'd bring the cats back to the shelter, like you guys really wanted to see me. You're so busy with the cats. But then anyway, I want to tell you that I looked at the dog, and then I went in, and Joni said, come on, we'll look at it. So I did, and I fell in love with it. So I took it home and just fell in love with that dog, but it didn't like to walk.
Oh dear, that's not good because you like to walk.
I do. And so anyway, then I was telling my daughter-in-law that, and she said, well, go walk dogs at the shelter. And she must have told me that about 10 times. I don't think I want to. But I did do it one day, and it did so much for me. It just made my retirement so wonderful, and I'm just so hooked. I'm so addicted to those animals
now.
So
they give you as much as you give to them.
I think they give me more.
Right.
I really do. I think of them at night when I'm at home. I think of them so much, and
it has to be very rewarding then when you work with a dog and you see them progress. They come out of their shell, and then they go to their new home. That has to be really rewarding.
That's such a thrill. That's such a thrill.
So, and how often do you come? You
3 days a week, and probably for 3 or 4 hours. And I'm really tired at the end of the day, so I don't make too many other plans.
But the dogs are really tired too, and that's really an important part of socializing the dogs here at the shelter, and being a part of that. And I think in addition to helping the dogs, it's fun to be with the other volunteers. You meet some new and exciting people that way too.
I have.
So, do you have any favorite dogs that really call to mind, or do you prefer the small dogs, the large dogs? Because I've noticed over the years you don't differentiate between I'm just going to take the little tiny dogs out. I see you walking some pretty big dogs out there.
Yeah. there's just been so many. You know, I mean,
It's hard to pick any favorites. So-
the first time when I just started, I took this pit bull out, and she was very old, and and she was very sick, but she'd get up, you know, she was very arthritic, when she'd hear my voice.
Oh, wow.
You know, I could just be talking to somebody, and she'd get up like that, and then I'd take her out for a walk. It was winter, and I'd sit by the senior center, and she'd put her head here, you know, like, oh, this world is too much for me.
Oh.
And I just sit with her and hold her, you know, till it was, till we both get cold. And then I brought her back, and that was probably, that's one of, I just loved her.
Yeah.
I just loved her. And then there's been others, like
Others.
King, I loved, you know, the big white dog, that huge white dog,
Right,
and
right.
I loved your
So-
Brody.
Yeah. Yes, I adopted a dog that Joby had worked with quite a bit. So that was just 3 years ago. It's been 3 years already that we've had Brody at our house. So why do you think people should volunteer here at the shelter? What would you tell people about, you know, sometimes people say, oh, I could never do what you do because it's too depressing, it's too sad.
It isn't.
Tell them what you get out of volunteering. Why is it important to
Well, I
come?
think it just gives me much better mental health, physical health. I just think it's so good to feel that good, 3 days a week, you know, and then I have the memories in between. So I don't know. I feel I just can't say enough about it. Whatever suits people, you know. The
Right.
shelter just
Right.
happened to be given to me.
And how about the shelter in general?
Oh, I love the shelter. I think it's the most marvelous place. Just love coming here.
You feel welcome and
Oh, sure. Yeah, I certainly do, and I love the volunteers I work with. I've met some great, great gals and men, and I just love it.
it's a big part of your life.
It's a huge part of my life. Huge, probably the biggest.
Well, that's good. Well, we hope that you're going to be coming and volunteering with us for many more years to come.
Well, I
And
hope so too.
There's a lot of dogs here that appreciate the love and time that you give to them,
Yeah.
and also you make those dogs more adoptable. And I think that's something that people don't always understand. That when the volunteers, you're not just walking the dogs; you're actually doing some training. You know, you're teaching them to sit and how to take treats nice, and making them more social and helping them be more adoptable and ready to go into that new home. So we're very fortunate to have you, Joby, and I'd like to thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you.